What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first video, then thank you for stopping by. If you've seen a previous video, then thank you for coming back. Before we get started today, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who has liked, subscribed and commented on the previous videos so far. It's been absolutely fantastic and it's a huge help to the channel. So for today's video, we are going to be watching Forrest Gump, which came out in, I don't know when. Let me have a look. I should have done all this before. So for today's video, we're going to be watching the 1994, I guess, classic, Forrest Gump. I literally have no idea what this film's about. What I do know is that Tom Hanks is in it. He's obviously the main character, Forrest Gump. It's also got Gary Sinise in it as well, and I know at some point he has no legs. I have no idea what the film's about. I got the synopsis on the screen here, but I'm not going to read it, so I don't want to spoil anything. But what I think it's about is, I guess, like a bit like a coming-of-age type story, but that spans his entire life. I believe there's bits about Vietnam in there. There's some old footage where they've CGI'd him into maybe Nixon or somebody, President Nixon. There'll be a love story in there somewhere, I'm sure. He likes to run a lot and he likes chocolates. And that's pretty much all I know about the film. So without any further ado, let's just jump straight in. It is so hot today. I am roasting my ginger little niblets off. Robert Zemeckis. Famous director, couldn't tell you any of his films off the top of my head. So I'm assuming that leaf, that feather is CGI or composited on somehow. Which for 1994 is pretty good, I guess. Oh, Sally Field. I like her. She was the mum in something. That's a good transition into the real feather. I don't know why I keep calling it a leaf. Tom Hanks is strange. He looks younger, but he never seems to age. Oh, Curious George. That's come up in a lot of different films. Is that just a book, or is it like a kids program in America? Are we going to flash back? Because the bus said 1981, and I'm pretty sure there's some kind of Vietnam War stuff. And he meets the old president. So this must be like in the future. And maybe he's telling his story like Saving Private Ryan, where that whole film takes place in the past.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
It wastes no time getting straight into the classic.
You never know what you're going to get.
That's why you look at the little card. I mean, he's literally got it on the inside of the box. I appreciate the sentiment, though.
Mom always said there's an awful lot you can tell about a person by their shoes. Where they've been. I bet if I think about it real hard, I could remember my first pair of shoes. She said they was my magic shoes.
All right, Forrest. You can open your eyes now.
Oh, wow. Oh, that'd be interesting to see how that plays into him running a lot. I assumed he ran fast. Like a lot and fast. But I guess if he couldn't walk properly when he was a kid, then he runs because the freedom aspect.
Right up now. On with Forrest.
Forrest!
Now, when I was a baby, Mama named me after the great Civil War hero, General Nathan Bedford Forrest. He started up this club called the Ku Klux Klan. They'd all dress up in their robes and their bed sheets. They'd even put bed sheets on their horses and ride around. And anyway,
Oh, did the KKK do that? Put the sheets, the hoods on the horses. I didn't know that. I was in a pub once, and there was a girl in high heels, and she trod on a grate like that, and got her foot completely stuck in the floor. It's hilarious.
If God intended everybody to be the same, He'd have given us all braces on our legs.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of underlying moral stories in this. After watching Psycho for the last video, there's a lot of this single mother and son dynamic going on at the moment.
You are no different.
Your boy's different.
I wonder if it was because of an infection or something, a disease, because obviously he's got dodgy legs as well.
Is that Mr. Gump? Mrs. Gump?
He's not trying it on, is he? Creeper. What the fuck is that? Oh my god, it was hit. What? No way.
Your mama sure does care.
Seriously.
your schooling, son.
Oh my god, I did not see that coming. He was being a creeper as well. He wasn't even like charming her or anything.
You don't say much, do you?
I love colour themes in films. You can really tell when a film's good when they've put a lot of effort into the production design and the colour themes and set design and things like that. He's not supposed to be Elvis, is he? He is Elvis, right?
Say, man, show me that crazy little walk you just did there.
What?
Slow it down some.
You ain't nothing but
He got the
I like
Elvis walk from him.
Moving around to the music, swinging my hips.
This film's like so good already. Is he?
This one night,
Is he gonna be like?
shopping,
I don't want to say like an angel, but like
furniture and appliance store.
like he inspires all of these people across the world, but he's just like a regular kid. That's amazing.
You know, it's funny how you remember.
I wonder if this inspired Ricky Gervais in Afterlife. There's a lot of scenes where he's sitting on a bench with another woman and talking about life and things.
I'm Forrest Gump.
I assume they're going to bully him as well.
Slate's taken.
Obviously the seat's taken, kid. There's 2 people on it. She is a big one. Jesus.
I don't recall what I got for my first Christmas, and I don't know when I went on my first outdoor picnic. But
I can't remember my first Christmas, but it probably looked a little bit something like this.
I heard the sweetest voice in the wild.
You can sit here if you want.
I had never seen anything so beautiful in my life.
Are you stupid or something? Mama says stupid as stupid does.
I don't even know what that means.
From that day on, we was always together. Jenny and me was like peas and carrots. For some reason, Jenny didn't ever want to go home.
Oh, did she get beaten? That'd be why she wouldn't want to go home.
Hey, dummy!
Ah, they split his head. Is that where the Run Forest came from, or is it something else later on?
Run, Forrest, run!
I remember being a kid, going out in the woods, and the streams, and the rivers, and on your bike. So much cooler than now, you just sit in front of a screen doing fuck all. Yeah, he's definitely giving it beans.
Now, remember how I told you that Jenny never seemed to want to go home?
Yes, I do.
She lived. He was a very loving man. He was always kissing and touching her and her sisters.
I was going to say, how loving was he, though?
Come on!
Yeah, she's like her dress is ripped and she's got a bruise. It is sad that it's always men that are portrayed to be the abusers in film and media and things. Disappointing, really.
Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
Some nights, Jenny'd sneak out and come on over to
It's nice how they didn't feel that they needed to show anything as well.
Scared.
They just told us what happened.
I don't know.
They're still doing it.
Run, Forrest, run!
Hey! Did you hear me, stupid?
It's the same guys as well. It's the same kids, even now they're older.
Run, Forrest, run!
I mean, he's almost outrunning a car right now. Whoa! I'd hate to be Tom Hanks having to film that scene like over and over again, just running. I hate running.
2 Negroes were admitted, but only after Governor George Wallace had carried out his symbolic threat to stand in the schoolhouse door.
Really? Military force just to stop 2 black guys getting into school? Seems a bit excessive. Oh, is this like the old footage where they've put him in? It looks like he's been added there. So did this really happen? And make the news and everything?
And students Jimmy Hood and Vivian Malone had been signed up for summer classes.
Were they real people?
Sure as hell was.
I didn't realise that was Tom Hanks for a minute because I was purposely trying to not to look at his cock.
2 years later, they ran for president.
Oh, shit.
But somebody thought that it wasn't. Jenny went to a college I couldn't go to, but I'd go and visit her every chance I got.
Oh no, she got another bloke. No, didn't do it. Oh man. Yeah, jump in. Do a George McFly. Yeah, do it.
No, he wasn't! Get away!
Oh, is he in the friend zone?
Forrest! Why'd you do that?
Brought you some chocolate. I'm sorry.
Poor guy. I guess they always were friends though. They never said they're anything more. He seems like the kind that wouldn't expect anything more either.
I want to be a singer like Joan Baez.
She's going to turn out to be some famous singer from history. I can see this film like really going down this like track of he's like representative of like this unknown force that drives everybody's lives. You know, not necessarily like just a man, but an analogy for not an analogy for God, but a force that influences people without them knowing for the better.
Oh. Oh.
Leave in the comments what happened the first time you touched a pair of titties. I love how they have to stop him. That's so good. You can see it's a little dated now, and you can tell he's been artificially put in there. But it's such a cool concept for a film.
Reason? Somebody shot that nice young president when he was riding in his car. And a few years after that, somebody shot his little brother, too. Only he was in a hotel kitchen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Forrest, I'm so proud.
Hey, who's that guy?
Here, I'll hold
Oh, is he going to recruit him?
Congratulations, son.
Hello, I'm Forrest Gump.
How many gives a husk you said who you are, pussball?
The way the window wipers were going past, it looked like all that rainwater was coming out of his mouth. Oh no, it's happening again.
My given name is Benjamin Buford Blue. People call me Bubba.
Bubba's family knew everything there was to know about the shrimping business.
I know everything there is to know about the shrimping business.
What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard.
I'd miss Jenny.
When I was in the army, we went out drinking one night, and we came back, and one of the guys, butt naked, stood in front of my bed and challenged me to see which of us could get a chair leg up our ass the furthest. Needless to say, I didn't join in. But apparently he used to hide sweets up there. Or candy, if you're American. Up his ass.
To see her perform in that show.
She's a stripper.
God damn it! Hey, stupid jerk! I'm singing a song here!
Forrest is going to go windmilling in.
Forrest, what are you doing here? What are you
He's saving you again.
They was trying to grab you.
A lot of people try to grab me.
It doesn't mean he shouldn't step in.
You can't keep doing this all the time.
I feel bad for him. Like, she doesn't owe him anything. And she's never made out it was more than it has been, but she seems to kind of treat him like shit a lot. A classic Vietnam soundtrack.
We can get American shrimpers to come out here and shrimp these waters.
He loves his shrimp.
All the time.
Morning, sir.
Oh, get your hands down.
Yeah, you don't do that in the field. They see you, they'll kill you.
Around this area who'd love to grease an officer.
I was born with big gums, sir.
Yeah, well, you better tuck that in.
Somebody in his family had fought and died in every single American war. I guess you could say he had a lot to live up to.
He had to live up to dying. Such good music.
So he'd tell us to get down, shut up.
Get down! Shut up!
There was Dallas from Phoenix. Cleveland, he was from Detroit.
Hey, Tex. Hey, Tex. Man, what the hell's going on?
And Tex was Well, I don't remember where Tex come from.
You know why we a good partnership for us? Because we be watching out for one another.
I'm not aware of this guy, the ship guy, being in the film. Like, I've heard of Gary Sinise has been in it, obviously Tom Hanks is in it. But never heard of this guy, so I got a feeling he's going to die.
How would you like to go into the shrimping business with me? All the shrimp you can eat.
Oh, epic tune.
Just like that, somebody turned off the rain.
Oh, shit. Man, that dude got slotted. Oh, he's gonna die.
Bubba! And on my way back to find Bubba,
oh no.
Well, that was this boy laying on the ground.
Oh, is he gonna run with him on his back?
And every time I went back looking for Bubba, somebody else was saying, "Help me, Forrest, help me."
And I barely have the energy to get out of bed every morning, let alone run like that. Absolute hero.
God, I said leave me here, God damn it!
He's still got his legs now, though.
Strong arm. Be advised, your fast movers are inbound at this time. Over.
Then it felt like something just jumped up and bit me.
Oh no. Whoa.
Did you hear what I said?
He is just not listening to him.
Where the hell you think you're going?
Get Bubba.
Napalm's gonna fuck everything up. Fuck me. That was so close. I hope he lives.
It'd be the last time me and Bubba was gonna talk.
Oh no.
I want to go home. It was a bullet, wasn't it? That jumped up and bit you.
Oh. Yes, sir.
Yeah, none of his story was about himself. All of his story was about his friends and the other people there. Very selfless. I'm guessing this is where he's lost his legs, because they've been hiding them. Yeah.
Harper?
That's pretty good effects for 94. Tom Hanks is a fantastic actor, but these days you see Tom Hanks all the time. But he's very believable in this.
You know how to play this?
Oh, he gets really good at this, doesn't he? I think I've seen a clip. He does it really, really fast. Maybe like Olympic level.
For some reason, ping pong came very natural to me. Even Lieutenant Dan would come and watch me play.
Yeah, he's not dealing with it very well.
I should have died out there with my men. Do you know what it's like not to be able to use your legs?
Yeah, he does.
Yes, sir, I do.
Must be really hard to deal with things like that.
I was Lieutenant Dan Taylor.
I think the subplot of the film is that everything's supposed to happen and happens for a reason.
You still Lieutenant Dan.
2 weeks later, I left Vietnam.
Bring the need for further escalation of the war in Vietnam.
There's a lot of repetition in the film with the scenes and things. Oh, okay. Is this like a hippie protest and he's in the wrong group? I get the whole Vietnam War was like a really bad thing, but I think it's pretty disgusting how the people, the civilians, treated the soldiers when they came back. They seem to be supportive of them in this, but I know there's a lot of protests obviously against the war, because they shouldn't have been there in the first place. But just the way they treated the veterans when they came back and sort of blamed them for so much of the evil.
There was only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam. Well, there's only one thing I could say about the war in Vietnam.
There's more of that repetition. They did it on the bus near the start as well.
What's your name, man?
My name is
Forrest
Gump.
Jenny!
Jenny and me was just like peas and carrots again.
I hate peas and I hate carrots. Disgusting.
Don't you know we in a war here?
Hey man, he's cool.
Hey, they're the Black Panthers. Yeah, he's got the jacket.
Forrest, this is Wesley.
Wesley's a dick who's never been to war. You can see it straight in his face. He's the type of person that gets outraged about things that they've never been involved in.
Yes, we are against all these racist and imperial dog acts.
Yeah. And it's always those that claim to be outraged on the behalf of others that are the ones that are abusive themselves. Smash him up! Yeah, fuck you, Wesley.
He should not be hitting you, Jenny.
You can't be outraged at the abuse of people and then stand there watching it happen in front of you just because it happens to somebody else.
Anybody want to go to San Francisco?
I'll go.
Far out.
I would love to have gone to LA in like the 60s, 70s, even the 80s. Would have been amazing.
I wish you wouldn't go, Jenny.
Wait, that says Berkeley to DC. So like Berkeley's in California. That is a long ass road trip. Punch him again. You're a dick, Wesley. It's nice how they keep separating and then coming back together again. I like that. It's cool.
That's one small step for man.
He's experienced a lot of things, isn't he?
Some years later, that nice young man from England was on his way home to see his little boy and was signing some autographs for no particular reason at all. Somebody shot him.
Oh, he's almost like an angel of death, right? Everybody he's met has died.
Lieutenant Dan!
Lieutenant Dan!
He's definitely something because he keeps separating from these people and then coming back into their lives. It's more than a coincidence. It's like he's got a purpose and a reason to keep running into them and affecting their lives.
I made me a promise to Bubba in Vietnam. As soon as the war was over, we'd go in partners. He'd be the captain of the shrimp boat and I'd be his first mate. A promise is a promise, Lieutenant Dan. But in the middle of all that fun, I began to think about Jenny.
I think everybody's going to die. I think she's going to turn to drugs and die of an overdose. And maybe Lieutenant Dan's going to kill himself.
What did your friend do for something?
What did you say?
Oh man, he saved his life.
Don't call him stupid!
You freak your eyes, loser, you freak!
Oh,
Therefore,
Watergate.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President
I don't know much about Watergate.
will be...
Now, when I got home, I had no idea, but Mama had all sorts of visitors.
We've had all sorts of visitors, Forrest. Everybody wants you to use their ping pong stuff. One man even left a check.
Why has he got his eyes closed?
Agreeable to saying you liked using their paddle?
Hey, Bubba, it's me, Forrest Gump. The brand new shrimping boat.
He just kind of does whatever he wants, doesn't he? He just had an idea and goes with it. I used to work with a guy like that. You know, one day he'd be a mechanic, next day there'd be something else. He got a job in a top hotel as a chef. He never knew how to cook.
I'd never named a boat before.
He's going to call
There was
it
only one I could
Ginny.
think of. The most beautiful name in the wide world.
That's Jenny. I thought it was Ginny or Genie. Okay. So the interesting lyrics that go with the scene, given all the abuse and things she's gone through in her life. Like even after she left from her dad's place, she was still abused by people along the way. Oh, she's gonna fly. Hey, at least she's free, right? I mean, the song is literally Free Bird by Lynyrd Skynyrd, and she wanted to be a bird. Ah, why didn't she jump? He's gonna crash. Dude, the boat.
That's where we'll find him.
I don't know, they seem to have like an epiphany now. So Jenny's didn't kill herself and Lieutenant Dan seems pretty happy. The net's pretty big for shrimp, right? You didn't get many shrimp in there, they just fall straight through the holes.
Biola Battery's entire shrimping industry has fallen victim to Carmen.
Has he got that only boat left?
Only one shrimping
Yeah.
boat actually survived the storm.
We got a whole bunch of boats. Bubba Gump shrimp.
It's nice. He did it all for his mate. He's got his eyes closed in all the pictures.
Forrest had a phone call. His mama's sick.
Oh no.
A follower of Charles Manson.
Charles Manson as well. He sees everything. Although I guess anybody that age would have.
What's the matter, Mama?
I'm dying, Forrest.
She's just so chill about it.
She had got the cancer and died on a Tuesday.
Well, like the Tuesday after she found out. See, these buses and the people, they come and go, but he's always there. And like plays into this whole idea that he's this force of nature, almost like fate. Like he's the personification of fate.
Fruit company. So then I got a call. Now, Mama said there's only so much fortune a man.
See, he goes everywhere, but he doesn't go anywhere. You've got everything he's going through in his life. He's going through all these different scenarios and situations. But it's like underpinned by him sitting on this bench going nowhere. Almost like whatever happens, happens. And you can't change it.
She didn't have to work in nobody's kitchen no more.
It's a nice role reversal. I don't think she's there. No. If he symbolises fate, then I wonder if she symbolises something. Because she seems to be making a lot of choices. And it's like she's searching for something all the time. And travelling places and trying to find herself. Yet Forrest just accepts things that come to him. So they're kind of opposites.
And then she was there.
That's a really nice shot.
And she gave me the best gift anyone could ever get in the wide world.
Just for running.
Those are the trainers he's got on at the bus stop, right? That are covered in mud. He's had them this long.
And it was the happiest time.
No, she's gonna die. I don't know how, but she's gonna die.
Will you marry me?
You don't want to marry me.
Yes.
I find it really awkward because she's never made out that there's more. But she's just like... It's like she's using him, but at the same time she hasn't really done anything. So you can't really blame her for it. That's the same bed they were in when they were kids.
Jenny.
Oh, what a bitch. She shouldn't come back again. She's fucked him about way too much now. He's never once drunk alcohol either. It's always milk, Dr. Pepper and 7-Up. It makes you wonder then as well where the mud on his shoes at the bus stop came from. Because he said the shoes can tell you a lot about a person and where they've been. So you're going to run. Just run non-stop.
I decided to go for a little run. So I ran to the end of the road. Maybe I just run across the great state of Alabama.
There's a woman who runs. She's got, I think it's no short-term memory. So she never gets tired because she never knows how far she's gone. There's a lot of red, white and blue throughout the whole film. So maybe Forrest is like a metaphor for the American dream. Because he can do whatever he wants and succeed at whatever he wants if he just does it.
Ryan, are you doing this for world peace?
Whoa, look at that little guy.
Ryan, are you doing this for world peace?
Are you doing this for the homeless?
I just felt like running. I just felt like running.
Whoa, man! You just ran through a big pile of dog shit!
It happens.
What, shit?
There we go.
Sometimes.
Shit happens. Called it like 2 hours ago.
Have a nice day. Well, some years later, I found out that man did come up with an idea for a t-shirt.
Amazing. Why has he stopped?
Quiet, quiet, he's gonna say something.
Yeah, they're just following him. They're not doing what they want. I think the song on a second ago was You Can Go Your Own Way. Without him, they've suddenly got no purpose.
Moments ago, at
Who's dead this
2:25
time?
p.m., as President Reagan was leaving the Washington Hotel, 5 or 6 gunshots were fired by an unknown wood.
I got a letter from Jenny, wondering if I could come down
Ah,
to
bitch.
Savannah and see her.
No.
That's what I'm doing here.
Henry Street is just 5 or 6 blocks down that way.
Hey! Forrest, about that.
I hate that. She saw him on TV and now she wants to get back, you know, back in his life.
Thank you. This is my old friend from Alabama. How'd you do? Listen, next week.
Oh, she got a kid.
So I'll be able to. But thanks.
Hello, Mr.
Oh my God, is that Haley Joel Osment?
Hi to him. Hello, Mr. Gump.
I named him after his daddy.
So that's his kid.
You're his dad.
She should have told him before.
Isn't he beautiful?
He looks like a doll.
Is he smart?
He's very smart. He's one of the smartest in his class.
Liked how he was worried that the kid was going to turn out like him. But to be fair, there's worse ways to go than to turn out like Forrest Gump.
It's okay. I'm sick.
Well, of course she is. She's got AIDS.
I have some kind of virus.
She's got AIDS. It's all that sleeping around and drugs. When I said they were opposites, like, Forrest is very selfless and she seems very selfish. He deserves better than her. Oh, cool. He's got legs. Oh, that's like exactly how his mum was. Laying in the same bed as she died. The card on the side is the t-shirt design the guy came up with from Forrest's face.
Was it part of life?
You just need Lieutenant Dan to die. And that'll be everybody. It's a Curious George doll behind him. From the book he was reading at the start of the film.
We might each have a destiny. We're all just floating around accidental like on a breeze. We both.
Guess it makes
happen
sense
at the same
if he represents fate and destiny and all the other people represent the opposite. That's the tree that they climbed up together when they were kids. Oh, that must be the bird that she's become.
I know this.
I'm gonna serve that for show and tell because Bram used to.
Wonder if the feather's still in it. There it is.
My favorite book.
That would play into the notion that he's an angel as well. The opening of the film was a feather falling from the sky. I mean, the kid does see dead people, so. Or maybe the feather just represents like divine intervention, like an overseeing God or something. Never been a big fan of religious films, but if they do it right and it's subtext, it can work quite well. I think that pretty much seals it, that he was supposed to be an angel. He came down from heaven at the start of the film, touched all these people's lives. Now that his job is finished, he's going back up. Seems pretty conclusive now. Okay guys, that was Forrest Gump. So let me know down in the comments below what you thought about the film. It's a really good film, really well made, obviously. I think Robert Zemeckis, the director, generally does a lot of adventure type and end of the world type films, I think. Don't quote me on it. So that was a change, I guess, for him. It was kind of what I thought it was going to be. So we watched his life. It reminds me a little bit of the Walter Mitty film, where a guy sort of goes off to find himself and you just follow him on the journey of his life. So that was alright. Kind of expected a lot of that. I didn't realise it had the overarching story of him sitting on a bench, talking, basically telling the story of it, which was very reminiscent of Saving Private Ryan, of course. But yeah, really cool film. I'm a big fan of sad endings, so it was a bit too happy for me and a bit too conclusive at the end. As I said all the way through the video, Forrest Gump was clearly a metaphor for something else. I thought he was a metaphor for fate and destiny and things like that. Because basically, once you strip down everything, all the external stuff, all the bullshit, all the politics, everything was happening around him, but the focus was on him being like a lot more basic, a lot simpler, a lot more, I guess, naturalistic. So you cut away all the human bollocks around it, And Forrest Gump was just this inevitable, timeless, natural entity going, throughout the film and touching on so many people's lives. And it was interesting how he experienced so much, like so many presidents died when he was alive. But then in real life, people who lived through those times experienced the same things. But he kind of touched on everybody, especially Elvis at the start, of course. I thought maybe Jenny was going to become like a famous musician from history. I don't know who, because I'm not into music. So that was surprised that didn't happen. I really thought she was going to die of an overdose or a drug-related death at some point. And I thought Lieutenant Dan would die as well, because it seemed that every time Forrest Gump came close to somebody or affected somebody's life or, changed the route of their life or, things like that, that they would die. With so many presidents dying, Bubba died, his mum died, everybody was dying. So I really thought at one point that he was like a metaphor for death. He was like an angel of death. But at the end, I think it was pretty conclusive that the metaphor was that he was an angel, came down from heaven, not particularly an angel that flew down, but he was the metaphor for the angel, came down from heaven, touched all these people's lives, interacted with them, and despite the ups and downs, I think the overarching premise was like God's got a plan type thing. So, they had their bad times, they had their good times. Obviously, Lieutenant Dan lost his legs, and Jenny got into drugs and got abused. But in the end, they all ended up happy, and everything ended up where it was supposed to be. So, yeah, it needs more thinking about, but that generally is what I got from the film. So, of course, like I said, let me know what you thought down in the comments, what you thought the underlying message was in the film, whether you're religious or not as well, and how that impacted your thoughts on the film and what it represented. But yeah, I would say if you haven't seen Forrest Gump, definitely give it a watch. It's got a lot of morality, tales of morality in it, and things like that. So it's, definitely worth a watch. Oh, and I really like the repetition. They repeated lines a lot, especially when they did the crossover, the cross cut. Repeated lines a lot. He was bullied as a kid and ran down the street with her shouting, obviously, "Run, Forrest, run." And then when he was grown up, he was a little bit older at high school, I guess, at uni, whatever. The same thing happened with the same boy. So there was this whole repetition aspect to the whole film as well, which I really love stuff like that. It's again, we come back to the loops. It was a loop. And that, along with the premise of fate and destiny, and I even called it about an hour and a half, 2 hours into the film, that shit happens, which came up as a theme at one point. And that notion that everything just keeps recycling and looping around and repeating, but in the end, things end up where they're supposed to be. It doesn't, all the shit that happens along the way doesn't matter because you always end up at the destination. So again, I want to thank everybody who's commented, liked, and subscribed already. If you haven't, it'd be great if you could subscribe and like, and then I can access some more features on YouTube. Definitely leave your comments in the comment section. And I always love trivia and information and things like that. So if you've got any bits of trivia about the film, obviously chuck that in there as well. And then I'll see you guys on the next video reaction.